In the dental office, it's extremely important to communicate with your colleagues. Um, I think it's important to communicate at any job that you have, but especially when you're taking care of patients. Um, the patients want to see that you get along with your colleagues. I think that it sets the tone for the office, and I think they pay attention to if you get along and if there's a conflict going on. Um, I know there's been conflicts at the job that I currently have, um, not with me particularly, but with two people that work there, and it not only causes tension between them, it causes tension between everybody else. And that's probably how it is in the dental office. I think it's important to be a team player. Um, the most important thing is teamwork because we're all working together to give the best um, care to the patient possible. Um, I think that it can be hard at first to communicate because um, you don't really know people, or you may be like trying to find your way in the office. But I think you shouldn't stand around and you shouldn't wait to be asked to do something. You should always be, a step ahead and show that you're eager to step in and help out as much as possible, and learn anything that can help your technique or that can help you as an individual in the office. Um, I know that nobody, you know, is ever done learning. So even though I've been taught something one way, I could learn in an office an easier way to do it, or a quicker way to do it. So I think that I will always be open to um, someone helping me and showing me how to do things. I think that I am a team player. Um, I am at the job that I currently have as well. Um, but for example, there was a conflict between um, a lady that worked there and another lady, and the conflict was over a child that was in the other lady's classroom. And the one lady was not ready for the child to move up, but that was not her choice. That's the boss's choice. They move up at a certain age, and then they become potty trained, and they stay in the 3-year-old room for about a year, roughly, and then they go up to the preschool room. Well, the boss and the other lady had conflict, and then it causes, you know, drama around the place. Everybody's talking about it, everybody wants to know what was said, and it's best to stay out of it and let the person that had the conflict hash it out with the person that they had the conflict with. But that's not always the case, and sometimes it's something really small like that turned into something much larger, and then that person was mad at everybody in the um, daycare. And it seems silly to say, but they still don't understand what they were doing was kind of wrong. So they're more focused on like their classroom and not really working with everybody and the other teachers and stuff like that. And I think that each different teacher can learn from anybody else. And so I think that's kind of like with any job, though you may not always be the best, um, but somebody can always show you something different or something new. Um, and it's important to keep communication open. Um, you should be friendly with everybody. If there is something that had happened, I don't think that you should go to, you know, your friend that you work with or something. You should talk to that person and just say, you know, I think there was a misunderstanding. I didn't mean to do this, or whatever had happened, to just apologize and to not let it grow larger than what it should be. There's many other conflicts over the years that I've watched people go through at their jobs. One person wanted to be the lead teacher, but I was more qualified because I only have 5 more classes left until I have my associates in early childhood education. And so they had nothing. They were just starting out school, so they were my assistant and I was the lead teacher. But she kept going into the office and talking to my old boss and saying, I want to be the lead teacher because I want those hours. And it was just kind of like, she didn't act like that to me, but she was saying this behind my back. And so finally one day my boss sat us both down and said that she was coming to her and she was saying that she wanted to be the lead teacher. She wanted the hours because it was 7 to 3, so it was nice. You got to leave. And I didn't take a break. I just worked through because I did a lesson plan. And she worked 8 to 5, and then she had to take a break. But they need a lot more help in the evenings than in the mornings. And then she wound up quitting because they wouldn't switch our position. But in that case, the boss had me as a lead teacher because I was qualified for it. And she was not. So there was like about a week of tension and confusion. And I don't like working like that. I don't think anybody does. So I think it's important to keep communication open and to understand if you've made somebody upset, or, you know, not everybody is the same. So you have to watch things that you say and comments that you say and how you say them, and just always provide a positive work environment for your colleagues and for the patients to see that everybody's getting along and that it's, you know, a nice office. I personally wouldn't want to go to a dentist where when I walked in I felt like, you know, Susie and Claire didn't get along and they were arguing, you know, in the dental office. I don't think that would be professional. And especially when you're there to focus on the patient and your job and make sure that you're doing your job correctly. It's not time to worry about, you know, personal issues or problems that you may have with somebody else. I mean, you're not going to like every person and every person is not going to like you, but it's important to get along with your colleagues at your job. And by being positive and not being stressed, that can help with, you know, everything. That way you're not stressed about one thing, but then you take it out on a colleague. So you should get enough sleep and, you know, eat healthy, get the right kinds of foods in your body, exercise if you can, and just be like happy. And I think that a lot of times that's what causes a lot of conflict is people are stressed, whether it be at their job or at home or something's going on. And it's important to set aside your job and then set aside your personal things. So when you come home, leave your work at work, and when you go to work, leave your personal stuff at home. That way it doesn't intertwine and cause problems where there doesn't need to be any problems. And just to be positive and show everybody the same type of positive attitude. That way people don't wonder, well, does she not like me because she's not being, she's not smiling at me in the morning. It's just important to be all around a team player and show that you're willing to participate in teamwork.